Hello and welcome to LKXA Extreme Barcelona International Action Sports Cup. My name is Mike Carpenter and I'm here with Leslie Gell of skydivemag.com, and we're here at the Windoor indoor wind tunnel facility in Empuriabrava Brava for the indoor skydiving two-way and four-way dynamic competition. So what we're going to see today? Well, we're going to see flyers in the competition. There are a lot of international top flyers, both in four-way and two-way teams. In the four-way teams, it's 4 members, and in the two-way teams, it's 2 flyers. So in the two-way competition, the teams have 4 rounds. 3 are speed rounds and 1 is a free round. In the speed rounds, the teams are given specific maneuvers to complete. The time in which they take to complete these moves determines their score for that round. Any mistakes, called busts, will cost the teams a 5-second penalty. In the free rounds, the teams create their own routines and get scored on 3 main criteria: how good it looks, how hard it is, and how well they perform it. The teams will then battle tournament style through to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and eventually the gold finals. So first up, we have the two-way final. This is the battle for the 3rd and 4th positions. So this is the semi-finals. So first up, the team is with Team Windoor. This is a local team. And so far looking good. Now this is a speed compulsion round, so what we're looking for is those green lights. We're looking for those to not go red. If those green lights on the outside turn red, that means they've incurred a 5-second penalty. So far the round looks good. The lights staying green, and we can see the time on the bottom here. That time indicates the time for their round. So the fastest time to complete these maneuvers will determine their score for this round. So far they're looking like they're flying really fast. This is one of the teams that were our favourites initially.
Oh, the lights have gone red, so they've incurred a bust there. That's a 5-second penalty they'll have to add.
Now those 5-second penalties will come as a result of maybe trying to go a little bit too fast, because the risk is if you fly faster, you're more likely to score a bust. So a good time, a score of 59, but the red lights indicated 1 bust, so that's going to be an extra 5 seconds added onto their time. Now these guys, they have to now sit back and watch as Sonic Babylon are going to compete and try to beat their time. There's 3 moves they have to complete, and they have to do those moves 3 times, so it's effectively 3 pages they have to work through. We're repeating the same 3 moves 3 times. Now this is a local team, Sonic Babylon. They're formed out of the local free fly school based here in Empuriabrava Brava, so they're a local team.
And in theory, Windoor team should beat Sonic Babylon, because going into the semi-final they were very much the faster team. But the fact that they've bust there and added a 5 seconds onto their time means it's anyone's game. Babylon are world champions and they're going to go there and fly their hearts out.
Exactly, yeah. So they know now, they've seen that Windoor scored that penalty. Now, a 5-second penalty is a big time. So to make up 5 seconds is going to be hard. So these guys know they have a little bit of room for error, and they're off. So remember, we're watching out for the green lights to turn red. If they turn red, that indicates that these guys have also scored a 5-second penalty, which they don't want to get. So far looking quite good, but we never know. So this is still their first page. Looking good so far, looking quite fast as well. You can visibly see they're flying quite fast. They're working through those 3 moves, working through each page.
The team is Nini Bouet and Gregor Van Eyden from the local free flyers.
I haven't seen a bust so far. The time's looking good, so that if they fly a clean round, they have a good chance of taking this battle. Now remember, this battle is going to determine 3rd and 4th positions. We've already had pre-qualifying as well as the quarterfinals, so now this is going to determine the final placings for that bronze position.
We're coming coming up to the end of the round. Remember, they've got 59.9 seconds to finish on. And yes, they're going to beat it. They have got the third place position.
So what we saw there was a clean round from Sonic Babylon. They scored a time of 1:02, which was actually, the time was a little slower than Windoor, but that bust from Windoor, which is going to cost them 5 seconds, I think is going to go in favor of Sonic Babylon. We're going to have to wait for the official results, but I think Sonic Babylon might have just squeezed out one of our favorite teams, Windoor, in that battle. That's why these battles are so exciting. One little mistake can cost the team a result, and we saw there that that team, one of our initial favorites, has maybe ended up in 4th position.
This would be a great result for Sonic Babylon. Earlier in their battle with their free round, it was very, very close between Southern Fly, Bottrop and themselves. And you could see when they were given that they'd won that round, they were almost surprised. So it would be terrific if they were to go through and get the bronze medal. We were just waiting for the judges to give us to confirm what we have as the unofficial result.
Now, as we spoke about earlier, these competitions are made up of both free round and speed compulsory. We just saw a speed compulsory round here. Now, what's going to happen next is the winning team gets to now show off and show us their free round. Now, the free rounds were in earlier rounds, which on this live TV show we didn't get to show you. So we're going to now let the winning team of this battle, whoever takes third, is going to go on and fly their free routine just to demonstrate for us this dynamic, fantastic sport.
It would be nice if it was Sonic Babylon, because they had a beautiful free round, very entertaining.
We're about to find out. Like we said, the favorites for this round may have just fallen, and these underdogs, Sonic, they may have taken this round. We're waiting on the judge's decision.
Raph thinks he knows the way it's gone.
Lots of hugs going on there. She is very emotional. We've been flying these last 2 days, and this is the end point of a lot of qualifying and a lot of flying and a lot of emotion. So it's going to be very interesting to see these final results.
And although they're going head-to-head battle here, these guys are all friends, they're all from the local team, and they fly together all the time. Each of them desperately wants to win, but at the same time they respect where the other's at, and they like each other.
So still waiting on the judges. Seems like they're just taking a little bit of time here. Remember, it's always a difficult position for those judges to be in. We have 5 judges, and they all need to confirm and then get their averaged out results. The benefit of having those 5 judges is we get a nice round-off result. So
it looks like it's gone to Sonic Babylon. What a result!
So Sonic Babylon there, the underdogs for that match. I think it was that one bust that Windoor scored, cost them that 5-second penalty, has given. Otherwise would have been the slower team, has given them the win because they flew clean. So remember, a bust is when you make a mistake on one particular move. So they may have not flown the line long enough, they may not have gone underneath their wings. So they're obviously very happy with that. Just flying clean, although it took a few extra seconds, just by flying clean, has given them the win in this round.
And of course, Windoor, by trying to cut the corners there, then that's how they bust, was just trying to go too fast. This is a great result for Nini Bouet, especially considering that her sister Kathy was going to compete and she ended up with an injury just before the competition. So a great result for the Bouet family.
So as we said, now we're going to see them compete in they're going to do a demonstration of their free round. This is not towards the competition. We've already been through the free round stage of the competition. This is just for them to show off and a little bit of bragging rights.
It's kind of like the victory lap, the lap of honor.
Exactly, it's like the victory lap. So hopefully they're going to get the wind tunnel turned up to going fast enough, and then we're going to see hopefully a nice clean routine. Even though it's not part of the competition, we still don't want to see them do any mistakes. And here they go. So this round is completely free and up to the competitors how they want to run it.
It's just a display of their gymnastic and artistic skill, and it shows the tremendous potential for indoor body flight.
I think the high they're riding now, this surprise victory, is going to help them get through a nice clean round. They're probably enjoying themselves right now, knowing that the pressure is off.
They look beautifully synchronized. There's that signature slide move around the edge of the tunnel.
Yeah, not many teams are actually using the tunnel itself in their routines. They're flying in and between the walls, but this is the only team that actually uses the walls in their routine.
lovely timing between the two of them, and you can almost see the smiles on their faces. Oh, and this is that beautiful ballet move. It was a real crowd pleaser early on.
And so in the free rounds, you have 1 minute to do your round. You can see here that they that the green lights indicate their minute was still going. So earlier in the free rounds, they were a little on the time, but right now they couldn't care less. They're just happy and happy to get that third position.
It's so good to see them so delighted there. And coming up now, we have the four-way dynamic. This is Serious Fly are getting in there and ready to go and fly their semi-final. Who are they against?
Serious Fly will be opposite Babylon. So now this will be exactly the same thing, just now with the four-way. So this will be teams made up of 4 people rather than 2, but they'll still be competing in speed compulsion rounds. So they're going to have 3 moves to do 3 times. So it's 3 pages was what we're looking for. Remember, the same thing. We don't want to see any busts. If the red lights flash, that's going to be a 5-second penalty. So we want to make sure that they fly a nice clean round, but also they want to fly as fast as they can because they want to beat the other team they're battling against. So that's the trade-off. Do they go fast and try and fly as fast as they can, but risk a bust, or do they fly safe but maybe lose a little bit in speed? Now we saw for Sonic Babylon in the 2-way that safe paid off. So now we're going to see in this 4-way routine what's going to work the best. Right now, look, they are off, and if they can keep it clean, I think this is going to be their biggest advantage.
And this team are from Finland. Oh, and a bust very early on in the routine. It's very distracting when you're in there and the lights go red. It's for the benefit of the audience, but then you know, oh, and as often happens, one bust can lead to another because it takes your concentration away. This isn't a good start for Finland.
Yeah, and especially there, they had a bit of a mistake where they all had a bit of a setback there where they all kind of looked at each other. It's very hard to start back again once you've made that mistake, but that's exactly what they're doing now. So another bust there.
Oh, this is disaster for Finland. Oh, I feel so sorry for them. Sometimes knowing that you're on international TV can give it a little bit more pressure because they flew much, much better than this in the qualifying rounds.
Again, they're pulling it back together. The hardest part is to, after a mistake, just to come back and still perform at your best, which they've had to do twice now, unfortunately.
And let's remember, the wind speeds in there are incredible. What sort of speed are they doing in there, Mikey?
Well, this tunnel can go up to 300 kilometers per hour. I think they're probably flying a little slower than that, maybe more like around 200, but still it's very fast speed.
So any tiny mistake, any tiny move can have huge consequences.
Exactly, yeah, and that's part of the game. But we can see they're still going, they're still trying to finish this routine. They're getting out now, time of 1:30. But with those busts, those mistakes, I don't think they're going to be too happy. But now, this plays into the favor of next team up, Babylon. Because Team Babylon, who they're competing against, know that they can take it a little bit easier. So now, actually, we have the 2 members of Sonic Babylon that just won 3rd place in the 2-way. They're now going to compete for 3rd place in the 4-way. They've just combined with their other teammates from another 2-way team. So they've 2 2-way teams have combined to make a 4-way team. But they know now they have the chance to take it a little bit safer, play a safe game, because they saw the team before them make some serious mistakes.
This is where it's a great advantage to go second, because now they know they just need to fly clean. And the team is Nini Bouet and Gregor van Eyden from France and Belgium, who we just saw. And they're flying with their friends and teammates, Luis Lopez Mendez from Venezuela, and Nemo, as we call him, David Nemo from Australia.
So the red lights are flashing. That means that the team can enter whenever they're ready. That means the judges are ready to go, and they're in. So remember, we want to see a nice clean round. The pressure is off, but they still have to compete a nice round to be in with a chance to take this battle. Remember, this is a battle between just this team and the team before. So the winner of this...
Oh, and a bust already.
So the winner of these two battles will go into third place. That looks like that. Okay, so 1 bust so far. They can still take this round if they fly nice and clean.
Maybe they just got a bit excited from their earlier win there. It's easily done. This team flies together a lot, both in the sky and in the tunnel here at Windoor. So they're very used to reading each other at high speed. You can't hear each other in the tunnel, so it's just a look. Sometimes we'll tell you to communicate a little slow down or faster up. You almost be able to sense each other, and you can see that in their synchronization here.
But so far looking good. It's definitely a mental sport here. Like the smallest little change can affect how you perform. Like I said, seeing the team go before you, that can either be a great advantage or disadvantage, but it depends on your own mindset and how you choose to take that information. Another small mistake there, which cost them a bust. So we see that's the second bust, but they could still take this round because the team before them had a third bust and more mistakes.
They just need to beat 130. 130.
Okay, this is a little disastrous now. This has just got serious. They've had to start again. They've got lost where they were. They just need to get going again. Keep it going. The first rule dynamic is keep flying. So they've tried to start again.
And it looks as though now they are way slower than the other team, because the other team had 130 with 3 busts. Babylon has gone way over that time at the moment. And out they come with 146.7 and 2 busts. So altogether, 5 seconds for a bust. Their time is 1 minute 56 seconds. Compared with the other teams, remember these are unofficial scores, but compared with the other teams, Serious Fly, they were 1 minute 30 with 3 busts, so that would be 145 overall. So our unofficial result here is that Serious Fly would get 3rd and Babylon would get 4th. But we're waiting for the judges to confirm.
Yeah, so in that round, we can see that both teams ended up having a kind of a disastrous couple of mistakes. So now we're going to see who made the least mistakes, pretty much. That's what it's going to come down to in this round. So we have Sirius Fly from the Sirius Tunnel in Finland versus the local hometown team of Babylon, who is a resident here in Imperia Brava, as the resident free fly school. We're going to see basically which of them made the least mistakes. Now, I'm sure that both are not going to be happy with those performances. A little bit of pressure maybe, but maybe it's for sure going to come down to who made the least mistakes in that round.
It's all about keeping your nerve in competition, and undoubtedly the fact that the television is involved now has added an extra pressure. That none of these guys made any mistakes like as disastrous as this in the early rounds, and it just shows what can happen when the pressure is on.
So we're still waiting for those official results, although I'm pretty sure the competitors have a feeling who it is. They're going to go into the tunnel now, and what we're going to see is the green lights are going to indicate which team has it. There's a red light on each side, one for each team. Whichever light goes green is going to tell us which team has taken the win. It looks like Serious Fly has taken it. I'm sure they didn't think they were going to win after that performance. They made some serious mistakes there, but they've managed to pull through by Babylon making a few more mistakes. So that round was interesting as it came down to just the mistakes made.
And a great result for Serious Fly there, especially as Inka, the lady you just see coming out of the tunnel there. She had an injury in training. She's had a shoulder injury and she's battled through it, so this is really terrific for them. Now they're going to put their helmets on and go back into the tunnel and do their victory lap, which is to show us their routine, which was very exciting when we saw their free routine earlier on.
Yeah, so as we said, this won't count towards the competition. This is just a chance for the winning team in each final battle to show us their free routine. They look obviously very happy with that result. They know they just got by the skin of their teeth because they made some serious mistakes there and they still managed to get that 3rd place. They have been lucky here for sure.
No pun intended, Serious Fly made some serious mistakes there, Mikey.
Yeah, they sure did, and I'm sure they would have been very gutted with that, but they've had the chance to go on and fly this free round to show the public like how they can go, and I bet they're over the moon right now.
And you can see the split-second timing that is involved when 4 of you are doing a synchronized dance around the tunnel. It has to be so clean and smooth because there's no room for error in there.
And we can see where those injuries have come from, because one small mistake is going to shoot you either into a teammate or a wall, both of which are not going to be fantastic to smash into.
It's great seeing this beautiful tunnel that we have here in Windoor. You can see the perspex, the way that it's made gives the spectators a fantastic view. It's one of the most technologically advanced tunnels, unlike some of the other ones which can be a little bit more shielded from the public, some of them in metal and you can't see through, but this is a great goldfish bowl for everybody to see everything very clearly, even the expressions on people's faces.
And here they go for their exit of their free routine. Some good commitment there from their 3rd member. Went down, but they're still happy to take 3rd place, I'm sure. And like I said, they were a little bit lucky there with the mistakes that Babylon made. Pekka giving some pecks to the camera there. But like we said, a very interesting round. for not the greatest of reasons, but I'm sure Cirrus fly very happy to take that third position.
And now we see the two-way dynamic. These are getting ready for the final. We can see Real Fly Zion, which is Julian Guijo and Josh O'Donoghue, in their lovely red and white suits there. They're so coordinated. They've even got a red glove and a red shoe.
So this is the final battle now. This is the result of the last 2 days. This is going to be for the winner of the two-way. So we're going to see speed compulsions again from both, and we're going to see the team that does it in the least amount of time, that performs all these moves three times over, is going to take the championship here. So this is the final battle. So there's going to be definitely some pressure here. They're going to see what they're saying to each other. They're saying take it safe, play it safe. They don't have much room to play it safe because the team going after them is very fast.
And these guys were better in training than XP, but as we've just seen, anything can happen.
Now in that last round, XP were in a different semi-final to these guys, but we could still compare the times because they did the same round. In the last round, the XP guys, they had a little bit of a few seconds advantage over Real Speed you see flying now. So Real Speed knows they can't hang around. They have to do this routine basically as fast as they can, but it's keeping it clean. So this is a real trade-off between keeping it clean and going as fast as they can.
And they've always been a surprise finalist, these guys. They came from nowhere. They decided to put a team together through a talk on Facebook. Haven't done as much training as some of the other teams, but they're both outstanding flyers and really pulling all out on the day.
So we can see they're working through their 3 moves per page. It's looking clean so far. They're going to get out. Wow, that's a fantastic time. We haven't seen many sub-minute routines. Now, does this put the pressure on XP? Now we've seen previously that they thrive on this pressure. They haven't had any problems working under pressure, but they certainly have some now. That was a very fast round, and there was no busts. There was no red flashing lights. So these guys know that if they want to take this win, they're going to have to go fast. They're going to have to go fast, but keep it clean. Otherwise, So it all comes down to this round. It's very exciting because these guys have been fast, but can they keep it together for this final round on TV?
So we're wishing good luck now to Zach Mullins and Josh D'Annunzio, who've come all the way from America, and they're off.
Yeah, these guys are based at Paraclete XP, North Carolina. They've, like we said, on paper, they should be the champions because they're undefeated in the previous 2 competitions they've competed at, and so far they are looking good, looking very fast. Remember, as soon as we see a red light, which indicates a penalty, that pretty much hands the victory over to Real Fly because they're both flying so fast that a 5-second gap is massive, and basically they're not going to come back from that. So they have to keep it clean, but also go as fast as they can. That's the trade-off.
Very young guys as well. We've got Josh is just 18 and Zach is 23 years old. They've got the advantage. They've got youth on their side. They're very, very fit guys.
Zach has been in the industry skydiving since he was 10 years old, so he's been around even though he's still a young chap.
And they're looking very good here.
What did we have, 57 in the last round? Are they going to make it? It's going to be close. It looks like they didn't take it. It looks like Real Fly Zion have got it. There was both very clean rounds. Real Fly pulled out the bag on that one because, as we said, Paraclete XP was 2 seconds faster on the previous round. So going in, they were kind of the favorites. It just shows how close these battles really are. One round can go one way, one round can go the other. So we're still waiting for the official results, but I think everyone pretty much knows, just by looking at the time, that Real Fly in the red and white have taken this battle.
And what champions they are. Julian Guijo, who you see on the right there. Have they just confirmed it? Yes. He's also a champion in canopy piloting as well, multi-talented. And he flies BFS 2, which is a different discipline where 4 people take grips.
He's flying multiple disciplines and he's just taken another one here. So a real good competitor, lots of experience, but that was a close battle.
That was thrilling. It just shows it's always a mental game at the top of any of these kind of sports, and if you can excel at one, it's about your mindset, and he's brought that to play here. Nice one, guys. Josh as well.
There they go, there to get the official win. Real Fly in red and white take this one. I remember those guys on paper were not the favorites. They came out of nowhere. This is their first competition as a team together. Although they are very experienced athletes individually, as a team, this is their first time competing. So to come out of nowhere and beat the previous champions is they're going to be super happy about that. Look at the smile on their faces.
They've only been together a little bit more than a month, whereas the other guys have got 500 plus hours flying together. So nice one, Josh and Julian.
This is really cool. Now they get a chance to show off their free routine. Remember, this is not going towards the competition. This is purely a chance to show off, and with no pressure, they're gonna for sure have a lot of fun now showing us their two-way winning free routine. Here they go. They're off, and they're off. We're going to see a very intricate routine. They have lots of passing and crossing moves, lots of switching and flips.
And just so you're clear, the red lights in the tunnel now don't mean a bust. The red lights are only apply in the speed rounds. Lovely twisting maneuvers together. Nice gymnastic routine they have.
This is very high technical with the more twists and flips you add, as well as keeping it synchronized and keeping the routine flowing. There's no way we can win just by flips and tricks alone. You have to keep the flow of the dive going. It's like a routine, much like ice skating or something like that.
That was thrilling. It just shows it's always a mental game at the top of any of these kind of sports, and if you can excel at one, it's about your mindset, and he's brought that to play here. Nice one, guys. Josh as well.
There they go, there to get the official win. Real Fly in red and white take this one. I remember those guys on paper were not the favorites. They came out of nowhere. This is their first competition as a team together. Although they are very experienced athletes individually, as a team, this is their first time competing. So to come out of nowhere and beat the previous champions is they're going to be super happy about that. Look at the smile on their faces.
They've only been together a little bit more than a month, whereas the other guys have got 500 plus hours flying together. So nice one, Josh and Julian.
This is really cool. Now they get a chance to show off their free routine. Remember, this is not going towards the competition. This is purely a chance to show off, and with no pressure, they're gonna for sure have a lot of fun now showing us their two-way winning free routine. Here they go. They're off, and they're off. We're going to see a very intricate routine. They have lots of passing and crossing moves, lots of switching and flips.
And just so you're clear, the red lights in the tunnel now don't mean a bust. The red lights are only apply in the speed rounds. Lovely twisting maneuvers together. Nice gymnastic routine they have.
This is very high technical with the more twists and flips you add, as well as keeping it synchronized and keeping the routine flowing. There's no way we can win just by flips and tricks alone. You have to keep the flow of the dive going. It's like a routine, much like ice skating or something like that.
They've got a lovely move coming up at the end of this free routine, which was definitely the biggest crowd pleaser.
The head-to-head flip with a twist. So they're going to try and link heads and keep them together. Here they go. Yeah, it looks like the pressure's off, and they flew it really nice. Look at that. I think they're pretty happy. So that is our overall indoor skydiving two-way champions right there. That's the result of 2 days of competition, and what a fantastic result for those guys to beat the XP kids there. Like, that is a formidable team they just beat. Like, that's the past champions. They've been undefeated. So this is really their first defeat, which is obviously a shame for those guys, but for Real Fly, it's a really fantastic result to win over such good competitors.
It was a gripping end to a gripping couple of days. Just 0.2 of a second has separated some of the teams between the rounds, and to see that was a truly exciting finish. Now we're looking at the four-way dynamic team, the final. Oh, what are they doing there?
We got a replay of the Real Fly routine here. Oh, it looks like a sum up of the previous two-way stuff. This is the Finnish team.
All right.
Serious Fly.
Come on.
Showing off some of their moves.
So this is just a little show of what we've been seeing for the last couple of days, the various free routines, some nice elements for it, a bit of a compilation, short video of all the things that you guys have missed. If you do want to catch up with the action that you've missed, you can check it all out at skydivemag.com, where we've got this kind of video on show and a rundown of the action of the last few days with video.
So you can see it's been a very long and emotional last couple of days. Lots of competition has been going on, and this is the final. So now we're going into the four-way final. So this is the very last battle that we're going to see here. This is the result, like I said, of the last few days. We have Southern Fly, Bottrop here are going to be competing against Funfly XP. So we're going to see the kids from XP. They're going to come back in and they're going to compete in the four-way after just having competed in the two-way.
And for these guys that we're looking at, Southern Fly, Bottrop, this is their main event. They've been training the four-way dynamic. There's 3 Australians and a Puerto Rican, all working out of the Bottrop tunnel in Germany. We've got two brothers there, Joe Greeley and Keith Greeley, and Mason Corby from Australia, and Antonio, as I said, from Puerto Rico. This is their main event. Whereas the other guys, the Paraclete XP team that we just saw, they've been training for the two-way dynamic, and when they do the four-way, it's a bit more to give them a bit of a break, a bit like flying the doubles in Wimbledon after you've been going for the single trophy full on. So I guess the favourites here should be Southern Fly, Bottrop, because this is their main event. They've looked very, very good in training, but as we've seen, anything can happen.
Exactly. So they've opted to go first. So we're going to see how that plays into the game of the second team. So just waiting for the speeds to get right in the tunnel. Looks like we're about ready to go, making sure all the judges are in position. And we have 5 judges, so that gives a really good overall score, gives a good broad range.
And in case you're wondering where the busts come from at home, then we have judges who have their eyes up against the green lights, and they are looking to see any infringements, if the body doesn't pass all the way through the green light, or if it's not in the right orientation according to the drawn round. So these are the guys who press the lights. If you see the green light, go to the red. That's because the judge has seen the infringement, just like a line judge in tennis.
These guys, they have to make sure they fly the correct shape, because it's all too easy to kind of cut the corner to try to go a little faster. But if you cut the corner and you don't fly the exact shape of the line or the move, then that will give you one of those busts and a 5-second penalty. Remember, those penalties are big. 5 seconds is a lot, because we see the difference in time between teams is more like 1 or 2 seconds. So to take a 5-second penalty is really going to hit hard. So what we're looking for from Bottrop here, from both teams, is a nice clean round. I would focus on clean first and then add the speed.
Antonio's the new boy of the team. He just joined, and this is his first competition with the team and on international television as well. Is the pressure going to get to him? We'll wait and see.
We're about to find out. So when the red lights start flashing like they are now, that means they can go in. So the green lights start, that means their time has begun. Hopefully you have a clock on the right-hand corner, like we can see. That will tell you how long this routine is going to take. So onto the interlace, that's the second move of the first page. And now we're going to go to the in-face circles. So that's our third move of the first page. Now we're going back to the first move. Here is the head down in-face switching snake. So yeah, this is kind of a snake move where everybody follows after the first person into the second move, which is the interlace. Oh, and there is a bust. So remember that red light is going to cost them a 5-second penalty. Now remember, that team going second, they've seen that. They know they have that 5-second breathing room, as long as they don't also make a bust.
So did you see what that bust was actually for? Oh, another bust.
That's not going to help. Like, that's a 10-second penalty. As we've said, the time difference between these two teams is usually not more than a few seconds. So to have 2 busts, that's now going to equal 10-second penalties added to their time. So now we know that the second team to go, Funfly XP, can afford to take it a little easier. But the question is, will they actually do that? You know, skydivers, there's a lot of ego, you know, and to actually slow down your routine and make it safe takes a really controlled mind, which these guys actually do have, surprisingly enough, considering what we just saw them do. But we're going to see now if they're going to do that, which I would definitely, if I was in their team now, I'd definitely recommend them to do that. Take it safe, fly a clean round. You have 10 seconds of error of breathing room. So hopefully we're going to see these guys do that. And which is not going to help Southern Fly Bot Trop's chance of taking this win.
So we've got Funfly XP. It's the two guys that we saw earlier, Josh D'Annunzio and Zach Mullins from Paraclete XP Wind Tunnel in the States. And they're combining with local boys, Raph Coudray and David Petraco from France. And they are the local guys flying in Windoor Tunnel. So a mixed team, not much time of flying together, and they're in.
Yeah, so this team is made up of two two-way teams. They combined just to make this four-way team. It was a kind of a last-minute decision to do so, but now that decision is really going to pay off. Because, oh, there's a bust. So they've still got one more bust in breathing room, but they don't want to give any more because one more bust is going to take away all of that advantage they had. They know they need to pull this together now. They've got only one bust. There's the second bust. Okay, so now that's effectively wiped the slate clean from Southern Fly Bot Trop's last two busts. So now it's going to come down to purely the time.
So can they beat Southern Fly's time of 1 minute 15.5 or not pick up any more busts? They're looking good, it's looking fast.
They're looking very fast, but maybe that's why they've scored those busts. Here comes the interlace again. They want to make sure they don't bust this move or any moves because they can't afford any more busts.
And the way the dive pool is constructed is there's more than 500 combinations that can come out. So these guys have not had the chance to practice all of these transitions.
It's close, it's going to be close.
Oh! And that's just 0.3 of a second separates those teams. Southern Fly Bot Trop had 1 minute 15.5 and 2 busts. And now Funfly XP 1 minute 15.8 with 2 busts.
Well, that's still unofficial yet, though we may have missed some stuff, so we're going to wait for the official results. But it looks like Southern Fly, even with those 2 penalties, still might take this round by 0.3
of a second.
That's exactly what we were talking about before, how close it is in terms of time. That time was down to 0.3 of a second, and we see that a bust is a 5-second penalty. So those busts, they count from a massive amount of penalties. But they're trying to figure out now. They're trying to see if they won. I don't think they know. They don't know in there.
And you can see the tension on the faces there. They all want this so desperately.
Southern Fly won it because this is their event they trained for. The XP kids, they obviously want the win because they didn't take it in a 2-way. So now we're going to see, this is, oh.
So we're going to see the light going green next to the team that has won.
Who's it going to go to? I think everyone's kind of waiting. And Southern Fly get it by 0.3.
That's a great result from these Australian guys from the Bot Trop Tunnel. Fantastic. The owner of Bot Trop has invested a lot of time in them. They get 2 hours free per person to fly each month. So they fly together for 8 hours each month. So all of that training has paid off. They've been together for more than a year, although the guy at one dive joined them relatively recently. They're the most experienced 4-way team in the competition right from the start. And all of those hours and hours of training, good for them.
Wow, well, what a competition. I can't believe it came down to 0.3 in the end. I really thought that Southern Fly kind of messed it up there with those 2 busts. Remember, that was 10 seconds worth of penalties. But like we saw, anything can happen, and Funfly XP went on to also accumulate 2 busts, which just basically wiped the slate clean, and it came down to 0.3 of a second, which, whew.
Well, there is a reason you train for these events after all, and Southern Fly have really been concentrating on the 4-way event, whereas XP have been concentrating on the 2-way event, and have only really flown with their teammates in the 4-way for the last couple of days. So obviously the training paid off in the end.
Yeah, all that training meant that extra 0.3 of a second. So now we're going to see Southern Fly's free routine. Remember, we haven't seen this yet because the free routines were earlier in the competition, but we didn't have a chance to show on live TV. So this is going to be the first time we get to see the winning champions free routine. So hopefully they can mistake free and give us a really good demonstration of their free routine. Here they go.
This was a lovely routine when we saw it earlier on, really showing off their skills and how much they fly together. They're so synchronized, it's like 4-way synchronized diving.
So remember, this free routine earlier on was scored on basically 3 different criteria: how good it looks, how hard it is, and then how well they do it. So basically execution. So that's the gamble. Much like in the speed compulsory round, versus how fast you go versus how safe do you fly. In this free round, it's the same thing. How technical or how difficult do you make the routine versus how safe you want to make it so you can perform it perfectly each time. That's the trade-off that these guys have to decide in their training.
And that's a really lovely routine. It was a big hit with the crowd earlier on. Definitely got the most applause, and it's lovely to see them showing off their skills. I'm glad that you guys at home are getting to see the entertainment of the free round. You have the excitement of the speed, first of all, and then the beauty of showing just what these guys can do in total body flight. Nice one, Southern Fly Control.
Awesome round, and you can see there as they got out, the lights went red. That indicated their minute was up, so they also managed to time their routine perfectly to 1 minute, which was perfectly timed again, just like they did in their previous free round during the competition. So they're going to be pretty happy with that, that 0.3. It's not very much, but like any racers know, it doesn't matter if you win by inch or a mile, winning is winning.
That's a great result for them. Their last 2 competitions they came third. They always seem to get stuck in that bronze medal position, and so it's really great to see them go straight from there into champions.
So looking back at those previous 2 finals, we saw in the two-way that Real Fly Zion, the new team just put together, they took the win over the previous champions, LKXA XP, who were probably the favourites coming in. So a bit of an upset there, although Real Fly are going to be really happy with that.
I hope you've been enjoying watching this at home as much as I've been enjoying watching it here. It's been a final to dream of. I feel quite exhausted myself. There's so much adrenaline.
So if you want any more results or you can see the whole live stream of the whole event. You can see the live stream of both today and yesterday, as well as all the results, all the updates. You can see them all on
www.skydivemag.com, where we've also got photos from the last few days. We've got interviews with the teams if you want to find out a bit more about these guys, what makes them tick and what makes them want to do this kind of extreme sport.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to say goodbye. Thanks for joining us. We really hope you enjoy the rest of the Extreme Barcelona International Action Sports Cup. And from here on, we hope to see you again. Remember, this has been the dynamic 2-way and 4-way competition. We can see the guys in there now having a bit of fun.
Are they having a bit of fun, or is this the summary of earlier on? I think it might be a bit of a best of earlier on. This is the free round of Funfly XP, which they made up actually on the morning of the competition.
Well, yeah, thanks again for joining us, and we're going to say goodbye now, and thanks for joining.